If you've been diagnosed with cancer, then you know the power of your food. In this video, I'm showing you how to eat to heal during your cancer treatment. There are three main barriers that are holding you back from eating correctly as a cancer survivor. Now, most women unknowingly make these mistakes. You have good intention. You want to do everything you can to prevent a cancer recurrence, but you unknowingly make these mistakes. Starting with number one, the meat dilemma. There is so much information about meat. Eat only meat. Don't ever eat meat. Eat just white meat. What is the right answer? Let's dive in so you feel confident on how you should be eating after watching this video. Now, meat is often feared by cancer survivors, but you shouldn't fear meat. Here's what you need to know. When thinking about meat, we need to think about three different categories: processed meats, red meat, and white meat. I give each of these a red, yellow, and green light. Here's why. Processed meats are known to raise the risk of cancer or cancer recurrence. Large cancer organizations have long shown that processed meats increase your risk of cancer. These are things like sausage, bacon, deli meats, any meat that's had something done to it to change or prolong its shelf life. You want to avoid or limit these as much as possible. Okay, and next with a yellow light is red meat. Red meat is relatively safe for cancer survivors as long as you control how much of it you eat. You want to limit it to 1 to 2 servings per week. Now, red meat is something like beef, pork, or bison. If you eat too much red meat, this could potentially increase your risk of cancer. And last is white meat, fish or poultry. White meat has never been linked to increasing your risk of cancer or cancer recurrence. It's completely safe. You can eat white meat as a cancer survivor. In certain types of cancer, like colorectal cancer, white meat actually lowers your risk of a cancer recurrence. So not all meats can be treated equally, but there are definitely safe meats for cancer survivors. Okay, but we can't talk about meat without talking about protein. And that leads me to the next big mistake that many cancer survivors make: the animal-plant balance. Animal meat contains the highest amount of protein per serving of any food. This is really important because as a cancer survivor, you absolutely need to get to your target protein levels. It's critical for your cancer recovery and your remission. But there is a real sweet spot for cancer survivors. Get enough protein to support your cancer recovery and remission, but also eat a plant-forward diet. Let me show you what I mean. Protein is important for cancer survivors because you need to maintain your lean muscle mass. Less lean muscle mass means that your metabolism actually slows down. So even just sitting here watching this video, you're actually burning fewer calories. Well, this causes you to gain weight. We know that women who are at an unhealthy body weight, they actually have a higher risk of having a cancer recurrence. So yikes, like you've been put into a forced menopause state as part of your treatment, suppressing your estrogen, which means you've likely gained weight. And this increases the risk of cancer. Now, being put into a forced menopause state was actually supposed to lower your risk of cancer. But if you're gaining weight, then it's increasing your risk of cancer. But the good news is that there's a way around this. By eating to target protein levels, you protect the lean muscle mass you have, and you're actually able to create new lean muscle mass. This will stop and slow down the entire process and help you lose weight. But it's also important for your strength. As a cancer survivor, you need to be fit, strong, and healthy. Eating to your target protein levels, this is the way to do this. When we think about eating protein, we often think about eating a big steak or a chicken breast. Our minds quickly go to these types of foods, but it's important to balance animal protein with plant protein. Here's why. Antioxidants and fiber are so important for women who have been diagnosed with cancer. Let's start with antioxidants. After cancer or cancer treatment, we know that your antioxidant levels, they're gonna be low. It makes sense, right? Your body has been under so much oxidative stress for so long, but you need to work to get these antioxidant levels back up. Well, plants are loaded with antioxidants, and this is the fastest and the best way to get your antioxidant levels back up. Okay, but what about fiber? We know that cultures that eat higher amounts of fiber, they actually have lower rates of cancer. You want that too, so boost up the fiber in your diet. And again, that's from plants. So you can see the dilemma that's happening here, right? So to keep this animal-plant balance, here's what you're gonna do. Start at supper tonight. I want you to add 2 things. The first is I wanna make sure that you have 30 grams of protein at your supper tonight. The second thing is to build half of your plate with vegetables. If you do those 2 things, now you're eating like a cancer thriver. After cancer, your food, it's not meant to be feared. If someone online or in your life is making you feel scared about the foods you eat, I want you to run in the opposite direction. I want you to use this mindset shift when thinking about your next meal. Every meal is an opportunity to fuel your cancer recovery and remission. Every meal is an opportunity. It's more important what foods you add in to your diet than what foods you take away. This is eating from a place of power, not a place of fear. And that brings me to the last mistake that cancer survivors make with their diet. They're at the wrong protein target. As a cancer survivor, your protein requirements have changed. What you used to eat before cancer, although it might have been healthy and great for your body then, it's not going to serve your body anymore. When you go through the impacts of cancer treatment, surgery, chemo, radiation, your body, it's changed. You're impacted so deeply. We hope that your treatment mostly targets your cancer cells, but it's also going to target your healthy cells. There is damage that's going to happen to your healthy cells. But the healthy cells, they have the ability to repair and restore. They can actually come back from this damage. But these healthy cells, they actually need the right amount of protein to be able to do that. If you're going through cancer treatment, it's tough to eat protein. Protein is not typically a comfort food. Things like eggs, chicken, black beans. This is not something you seek out when you don't feel well. You want to eat carbs, toast, crackers. This is what makes you feel better. If this is you, then that is totally natural. But it's not fueling your cancer recovery and remission. Your body needs essential amino acids to repair. It needs to have support, and it's protein that's going to give your body that support. Now, there are a lot of smartphone apps or online calculators that will estimate your protein target. But a big red flag word of caution here. Do not use these apps if you're a cancer survivor. These apps like MyFitnessPal or Lose It, they're not designed for cancer survivors. They're designed for the everyday Jane who's otherwise healthy. Estimating protein targets for someone without cancer, well, that's easy. That's why lots of apps can do that. But figuring out your protein target as a cancer survivor, that is more difficult. Do not use the guidance of these apps. Do not do it. They're going to give you the wrong protein target, and you're going to end up in more trouble than good. It could potentially cause more harm and damage to you, so just don't do it. And these apps, they're great, but they're just not meant for you now as a cancer survivor. Instead, you need a personalized protein assessment, something that can be designed specific for you, your body, your diagnosis, your treatment history, something that's customized for you, just like your treatment was customized for you. That makes sense. You can get that type of protein assessment by applying for the Cancer Freedom Program. Click the link in the description below, hit the apply button, fill out a short questionnaire, and you can book a one-on-one diagnostic call directly with me. It's absolutely free. So go ahead, click the link below. This is the next big step in your cancer recovery and remission. Plus, it's not just protein. Your protein needs to be delicately balanced with your other macronutrients. This is carbohydrates and fat. If you get this balance wrong, then you can actually end up gaining weight and having more long chemo side effects than even when you started. Definitely not what you want. I have to tell you a story about Cancer Freedom Program alumni, Roxy. She is a breast cancer survivor and was diagnosed when her son was only 3 years old. She came to me for help because she still wasn't feeling like herself, even after she finished treatment. She was exhausted all the time, no energy, fatigued. Her son wanted to go out and ride bikes together, but she was just too tired. She would explain to him that mommy is too tired. She needed to lie down and rest, but she felt like she was missing out on a big part of life. She wanted to be there for her family, but she just couldn't. The other thing she wanted was just to drop a little bit of weight. She knew that she would need to go back into the office after she finished her treatment, and she just wanted her work clothes to fit her again. That was all. Well, with Roxy, we really needed to focus on getting her to her individualized protein targets. Without hitting her targets, her cancer recovery was actually being delayed much longer than it needed to be. She added in eggs at breakfast, chicken at lunch, and fish at supper. She also built out high-protein snacks. Within 3 weeks, her energy was back to normal. 21 days with getting the right amount of protein, the right macronutrient split, and your energy can be back. It's that fast. Now Roxy is doing all kinds of things with her son. They play basketball, they go to the zoo. She doesn't miss out on any more family moments. And what about the weight? Well, she dropped way more weight than she thought she could. That's not even what we were focused on, but no problem. Okay, so now that you know what to eat as a cancer survivor, and more importantly, what not to eat, the next thing that we need to dive into is your exercise or your movement. That's why I'm linking up this next video here. You can lower your risk of a cancer recurrence by 59% through your exercise alone. Okay, click the link here. I'll see you in the next video.